Going out the afternoon of August the 26th. It's a Saturday, as history dictates. WMMS and Bud Light would love to have you along. If to win your way on, I will be telling you about a couple of ticket stops I'll be doing next couple of weeks. So listen for those. You can win at WMMS.com at the contest tab there. Try to get in. Or win here. Be 21 and be caller 10. Good luck. See you there. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
If you can't beat them, join them. And if you can't join them, send a strongly worded letter asking why your application was rejected. Another helpful tip from the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
Guardians are in Chicago tonight. It's the first of four against the White Sox. Guaranteed rate field. That is an 8:10 start tonight. 7:40 is going to be your pregame coverage. Remember, for the remainder of the month, you can use the promo code HOT20, HOT20. Last day of the month is Monday. Unbelievably, almost August. HOT20, though, will get you 20% off whatever you get at CLE Clothing Company. So whether you find yourself in one of their stores looking around, or if you're online being lazy but still want to get something, there's Buzzard merch and a whole lot of things with the word Cleveland on it. You get 20% right off the top with Hot 20. But Guardians, White Sox, live from Chicago tonight, first of four here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. Anybody watch any of that C-SPAN coverage of the congressional hearing on UFOs?
I did not check any of it.
Pretty wild.
Because as crazy as it is, if we are going to get aliens and learn about them through C-SPAN, I'm not interested. I have been sold that aliens are going to come from the sky. They're going to park spaceships over our cities. It's going to be threatening. It's going to be terrifying. C-SPAN is scary in its own way, but not the kind of.
Well, they weren't talking to aliens in Congress.
I know, but they're talking about them, and it's. Are they getting us ready for something?
Well, what I wanted to know is
our way.
My main thing is just an administrative complaint. I don't know what precipitated the change from UFO to UAP. They're now called unidentified aerial phenomena. You know, you went from unidentified flying object, which is exactly the same as an aerial phenomena.
No, because maybe a phenomena is not necessarily an object. I feel like object means something tangible.
Right, but that's what
phenomena could just be. It doesn't have to be like a solid thing. It could be like a ghost.
But that's what they're claiming they've seen. So nobody's saying I saw ghosts. They're not talking about like weather phenomena. They're talking about we saw a ship that was moving so fast it's not of this earth. Like Navy video and things like that. This guy there were three guys. There was some quote-unquote whistleblower up there, some military whistleblower, and then a couple of retired Navy commanders. And they sat in front of the House Oversight Subcommittee. So it's like Tim Burchett, who's from Tennessee.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, he did Edward Scissorhands.
That's why
did the first Batman.
Yeah,
I think he was a producer on Mars Attacks.
Yes, he was.
That's why they consulted him.
Yep, he did Batman Returns. Tim Burchett is a Republican from Tennessee, but he's on this subcommittee with guys like Jimmy Raskin, and I think AOC's on it. And so they were talking to these guys who were like, look, we've had encounters with whatever you want to call them, UAP, UFOs. But it's all that grainy black and white military footage. Why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars, by the way, on a bloated military if all we have video-wise is this grainy footage? I still don't understand that. So for all the testimony of things that these guys say they've seen from, they're alleging that the Pentagon is hiding evidence of alien technology. This guy said that about 10 years ago, they would regularly detect objects that they could not explain. Dark gray and black cubes.
Are there common characteristics to the UAPs that have been cited by different pilots? And can you describe what the convergence of descriptions is?
Certainly. We were primarily seeing dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere.
I'm sorry, dark gray or black cubes?
Yes, inside of a clear sphere, where the apex or tips of the cube were touching the inside of that sphere. And that was primarily what was being reported when we were able to gain a visual tally of these objects. And that occurred over almost 8 years. And as far as I know, it's still occurring.
They said that they had testimony from people who have worked for military contractors. They say that they saw a Tic Tac shaped object over the water. The guy went on to clarify, Tic Tac like the candy, not TikTok, the Chinese communist app.
Obviously.
That's what the guy from Tennessee said. I don't mean the Chinese communist app that the kids are doing their dances on and their pass-out games. I'm talking about like the candy. When was the last time anybody... I didn't even know they made Tic Tacs still. That's still a thing? A Tic Tac?
It's one of my dad's favorite candies.
Well, yeah, because your dad was, like 65 years old, right?
No, my dad died at 59.
59. All right, well.
He's like 6 years older than you.
6? I'm 52, homie.
Okay.
So, but he would, whatever. I didn't realize Tic Tac was still a thing. Like the little plastic container and,
Every Saturday, my niece would go over there and he would give her, that was like their thing. They would have orange Tic Tacs together. So she would come home with Tic Tacs every single week.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, Tic Tac, I think, started as mint, which makes sense. The flavored ones, the flavor comes off right away.
I like the orange ones.
And, well, they taste good for like half a second, but then you suck off the orange flavoring and you're left with,
some white flavoring.
It's all white underneath.
Mm-hmm. Especially after you suck off the orange part.
Bill Squire is performing in Cincinnati in September. Get your tickets now.
Detroit this weekend.
Detroit this weekend.
A former intelligence officer, David Grush, testified he suspects the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, office is covering up a decades-long program to retrieve crashed objects.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
The Pentagon has denied Grush's claims. Two former military pilots also recounted their close encounters.
This object was estimated to be almost the size of a football field.
Former military pilot David Fravor testified he was astonished by what he saw in the sky.
No, I think it's far beyond actually our material science that we currently possess.
Congress signaled it'll ask federal agencies and the Pentagon to be more transparent.
Many people believe that we're withholding information from them.
On any unexplained aerial phenomena incidents, of which there have been at least 366 reported since early 2021.
366 in 2 years. And so what you see now is people coming to the conclusion, because of these kinds of testimonies and more and more articles about them, you see people coming to the conclusion that finally we're getting the truth on UFOs, that aliens are here. And man, that's a leap. That's a huge leap. I'm not the conspiratorial type because I don't think you need conspiracies. All the stuff goes on right in front of us. It's just people are too bored or distracted to really pay attention to it. But that they're hiding UFOs, I don't buy it. I was reading a thing on Area 51, and they were talking about how this guy that used to work at Area 51, he's like, they love that people think it's UFOs there because that's completely obscuring what's actually going on at Area 51. They're doing like random, completely predictable black site military stuff that's got nothing to do with aliens.
Why I gotta be black?
Ask them. So they're like, the Area 51 people love that everybody thinks it's aliens because it's got nothing to do with that. I mean, there was no shortage of wacky stuff. If you watched any of this testimony, they're like, there's a multi-decade cover-up. And these aren't people, the only reason they're sitting down with them is these aren't people, drinking Sunoco 440 with a tinfoil hat on. These are guys who are like, I used to work for the Navy and I was a pilot. And so they come with a certain degree of credibility. But when they get into like they're hiding non-human materials and blah, blah, blah. I always think of guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist. None of these guys are scientists. They're military types. So they can kind of walk you through what the video looks like. But when you look at a guy, you talk to a guy like Neil deGrasse Tyson, if anybody was going to tell you or give you an educated guess as to the existence of aliens here, it would be somebody like him. And he doesn't buy it. So I defer to somebody who is exponentially smarter than most of us in that capacity. And he's like, we have a world where everyone has cameras. I mean, his reasoning is barely scientific in nature. He's like, you don't even have to go that far. We have a world where everyone has cameras. And all we get is the grainy black and white military footage. Somebody would have a picture of something. There are billions and billions and billions of photos uploaded to the internet every day. Every single day. Tens of billions of photos are uploaded. And there isn't one picture that confirms something like this. I like the notion that, when we were rewatching the Indiana Jones movies, the premise of the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is that aliens visited. They move from Nazis to Russians with Sean Connery, and then the aliens, because it's advancing by decades in that timeline. I like the notion that aliens were here millions of years ago. Because when people go, how can they explain how the Incas and the Aztecs were able to develop these mathematical structural equations that would have been just so far beyond their limited comprehension? That's kind of a cool thought to me. But boy, people are really, really, they showed outside the congressional testimony room, there was a line of people, civilians, line of people waiting to peek in there, people who were like, we're finally going to find out about UFOs. And I don't know, man. I don't see anything here where they go, yeah. But there's no alien, remember Alien Autopsy back in the day?
Yeah.
These things used to come on VHS. You'd have a friend that had a copy of Alien Autopsy. And it was, screw Blair Witch. Alien Autopsy was like the whole precursor to the whole found footage thing. And it was this grainy, handheld camera thing, the alien that it is all fake, of course, but
that's
it looked cool and,
I do think there is something to it. This is the perfect time for all this stuff to come out because there's ways to discredit that. Like, even if we saw, because we have so much technology, we have AI, we have, like, high-res photos. If we saw a UFO or, like, a picture of an alien, no one would believe it anyways. They would say, oh, this was created somewhere. This is clearly fake. So it's actually the perfect time for it to come out. And there's still, with all the technology we have, there are still so many things that are unexplained, like with the pyramids and how they were built with, like, chambers and these beams inside of the pyramids that were thousands of pounds that no one has a way of, like, reconstructing now. How did they do it back then with their technology?
Well, that's the question. I would love, and again, I'm not bright enough. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not bright enough to be an informed skeptic. But the people who are really smart about this stuff and are skeptical, I kind of look to those people. I would love it. I'd love to be a Fox Mulder. I'd love to be like, something's going on, and we're going to figure it out.
So you don't believe?
You want to believe.
You want to believe.
You don't believe Bob Lazar?
No. I don't believe any of that stuff. Because every so often, every generation you have some massive, you have somebody who purports to have information that no one else has. And my thought is always, you could solve this tomorrow by hauling out indisputable evidence of extraterrestrial visitation and go, here it is. To your point of people not believing things.
They wouldn't.
It would be easy to discredit a piece of video of some grainy craft off in the distance. Obviously, super easy to discredit that. But if there was a photo or a live event where they were like, okay, we're going to be fully transparent about this.
They wouldn't believe it.
They
wouldn't believe the people
or they
saying
would think there's ulterior motives, or
they
an
would-
election coming up, or
They'd be like, oh, you guys
Understood.
kept this from us for so long. Why
Understood.
now?
All I'm saying is facts are still a thing. And if there were facts about something,
No.
Something you could touch and something that you could prove was being examined. Listen, right?
Facts now.
No. But this is what I'm saying. Right now, the only bipartisan thing going on in Congress is interest in UFOs. So this is not really a political thing. Now, granted, to your point, if they came up with something, they were like, well, let's take a look at this. Here's your evidence. Then it would get all tossed up. But for now, this whole subcommittee, it's Democrats, it's Republicans, it's,
You know what I think, Alan? I think you're too concerned about facts, and you don't think enough with your heart and the way that you feel and the vibes that you get off of things. I think you're a little too concerned with facts.
It's funny you should mention that because I watched a video last night.
About vibes.
Well, it was about
UFO vibes.
Not being so, what was it? It was...
You tell me, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how he worded it. But it was basically being so fact-based or so fact-driven can really be damaging to you.
Yeah.
Right, but
I've been trying to tell you guys this for years.
But no. But what you're talking about is different.
Facts.
What you're talking about is like in your everyday life.
No. I mean with paranormal. I mean like ghosts, UFOs, aliens, all that kind of stuff.
That's by definition. That is paranormal. That is not scientific in nature.
But
right?
you're only concerned with the science of it.
Yes.
So that I'm saying stop doing that.
Science is a universal language. Science is something that you can repeat and get the same result, right?
Sure.
That's not paranormal. That's not, oh, bro, it's so cold in here. Look at my EPK meter or whatever the hell it is. EVP, right? I'm not talking about that.
All I'm saying is...
I'm talking about scientists who know this stuff. I'll always defer to their judgment. Now, obviously, in the scientific community, there are people who disagree on this. Not everybody agrees with a guy like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They go, well, here's a case for why we could have been visited. The thought is always that aliens wouldn't waste their time with us because we are not sufficiently advanced.
But you also...
It's the prime directive from Star Trek. You're not going to involve yourself in any civilization that isn't advanced enough to be able to handle it or to be able to contribute to it in a meaningful way.
What I was trying to say was the video I watched is called The Big Problem of Logical Thinking.
Wait, yeah.
So being
I've been
logical all the
trying to say
time.
this for years, and you guys don't listen to me. I've been telling you to
Right,
stop
but then I
thinking
watched-
with logic.
But it's not exactly what it is.
That's what they
Stop
said,
thinking
right?
with logic.
No, it's allowing yourself to also let the emotion have its place.
Well, here's my point.
Emotion very much has its place. It's just that people put way too much stock in their own emotions. So they go the other way, where they go, well, that's just how I feel, and you can't tell me I'm wrong. Nobody's telling you you're wrong about your feelings. We're telling you you're wrong about your facts. And what do the Trump people love? Facts don't care about your feelings. Well, now those people are in their feels 24/7. So you're
okay.
right. Facts do not care about your feelings.
To go back to the I trust science and I trust smarter people, you have alluded to and kind of discredited scientists who believe in God before, where you've said, how can someone who's so smart believe in something so stupid? So for someone like you,
because
I
science
feel like,
is not belief.
I
There
understand.
are scientists who believe in God, but they don't believe in it because of science.
Sure,
right? They're
but-
non-overlapping magisteria.
But-
Science has nothing to do with faith and belief.
And if you don't believe in God, then how did that one guy from the video we watched the other day not be gay no more?
Okay.
He's not gay no more.
I don't like men's.
He don't like
I like
men's no
women's.
more.
I ain't gay no more.
But what I'm saying is that for you to put so much of your stock into scientists, but then also question them when their beliefs don't align with you.
No, I don't.
But you have.
Because they're not talking about God from a scientific perspective. They are just scientists who are also consider themselves people of faith. They're not saying, I believe in God because of science.
No, but
so I'm not
missing
saying
what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, you're saying that I'm discrediting scientists. No, I'm not. I'm discrediting a belief. Listen, what did I say? I'm an atheist, right? I don't have to I don't have to humor your delusion.
This isn't
That's
even
my
a-
perception of it,
That
right?
was just one example. I'm talking about in the past you have said something along the lines of how can someone, I don't understand how someone who is so smart and has science in front of them also believe in God.
Yes, I don't understand that.
So my question is then how do you not see that this could also be happening, that scientists could also believe in UFOs?
Because science is not belief. Science is not belief. You don't believe in science. Science
But you
is,
believe in what you're trying to prove.
Yes, but if you don't get the evidence to prove it, then you have to move on to something else. You have to try.
Or you keep trying to prove it
That's
because
right.
you believe in it.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
But nobody's proven the existence of God.
I
just gave you a great example.
The God thing was just an example. I was making a parallel between the two. That you're not ready to trust. I don't think that you are ready to trust all scientists because you kind of think some of their beliefs are silly.
No. I trust them on their scientific beliefs. I do not understand. You're right. I don't understand how people of science are like, I believe that there is a God. But that's up to them. That's fine. I'm not saying I don't believe in their science. I don't believe in the faith part of it. Faith makes people very comfortable, and it's a good thing for them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not for me, but I'm not a scientist. But I would absolutely defer to people of science.
So if
there are a lot of people of science who would very much like to prove the existence of God.
Or even the existence of UFOs like we're talking about. Like you're like, why don't they come out and say it if maybe these people believe in it, but they don't have that scientific evidence yet. That they're still working to prove it.
Right, yes.
But they wholeheartedly believe, like, this is so important, I have to put my time into it.
I'm all for it, man. Just because something hasn't been proven yet, obviously doesn't mean it never will be. All I'm saying is after thousands and thousands and thousands of years of people having religious beliefs, because it's probably to some degree hardwired in the human brain, right? After thousands of years of that, and millions of people trying to prove it, nothing has come from it. Meanwhile, concurrently, all kinds of scientific advancements have been made. Like, science never has to change its story because of religion. But religion has to move the chains all the time when there's new scientific discoveries. They go, oh, okay, well, I guess the Earth isn't 5,000 years old then, even though there's people who still want to believe that. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not gays no more. I don't like men's no more. I like women's.
To get delivered more. To get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free? Yes, sir. Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup.
Poundcake, when you were in church hiding under the pillows, was there a guy up in front doing that? No. Okay.
Poundcake's just on the stage trying to sleep.
Yeah,
You guys waking me up.
That was me. Yeah, no, you can tell in the video there was a couple men at the front that were like just through with him. They're like, all right, he talking reckless. Like, let me just walk away because there ain't no way that is ever gonna be, someone's husband.
That's right. Well, he don't like men's no more.
You want some breaking news before we go to break?
Can it wait? Or does it? Yeah, you know what? Hold on.
It's real quick.
Alan Cox Show. Exclusive news update.
Joe Burrow was just carted to the locker room after going down on a play during 11-on-11. So
What a lucky play. Joe Burrow knows what he's doing. Boy.
He's
going down on everything. What?
His knee exploded. It looks like.
Alan Cox Show. Exclusive news update.
You mean a potential season-ending injury
That's-
before the season even gets going?
Yeah, they're 1 week into practice, and it looks like he might have. I mean, a non-contact knee injury is what it looks like, and that's usually not good.
Oof, you got to go down on something. Your knee. Okay, if you're on hold, I'll get you on the way back here. You want to text 35192.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell me to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
All right.
Get ready for iHeartRadio's Living Black, August 2nd. Inspired by the culture, the history, the innovation, and celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop with performances by Usher, Miguel, Glorilla, Coco Jones, NLE Choppa, and special appearances including LL Cool J, Ty Dolla $ign, Roddy Ricch, and more.
Tonight we share something real special with you.
It's so much more than a concert.
It's all about bringing cultures together.
It's an experience that highlights and celebrates blackness. All hosted by Jess Hilarious. Listen with the free iHeartRadio app and watch on iHeartRadio's Facebook and YouTube. August 2nd at 7 p.m. iHeartRadio's Living Black.
Living Black is powered by the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 and